What's up, guys? It's Parnellyx, and in this video, we're showcasing a game of patience. And just essentially what happens here is we're going to fall behind in the early game. We're going to have a slow start. We're not going to really have many kill opportunities presented to us. And thus, we're going to have to just focus on farming a lot. And just, you know, not having the ability to play very proactively. We have to play reactive this game. But we make smart plays in the mid game that react to the enemy aggression and counter what the enemies are wanting to do, and that's basically kind of the premise of this video and this game that we're playing here. So right here, top laner gets a kill early on. She does want me to cover for her as she tries to push out the lane because she doesn't want to get ganked by Rengar. So I decided to go for this invade. As we can see, Rengar just ganked bot lane, so I know I can go ahead and just take everything here. Initially, the idea was I could probably fight Rengar, which is why I was willing to go for the invade, but I'm more than fine with just taking the vertical jungle. Yasuo gets ganked here and flashes the wall to try to get to me, but manages to die before I can help out. And even though this is 1v2, I actually do think that I have the ability to potentially make a play here, but sadly, Sylas had lane prio because Cass just had to recall, and I end up dying because we're trying to play it really slowly. Cass gets another kill, which is awesome. This so even though we're losing in the jungle, mid, and bot lane so far, we have 3 lanes that are or 3, yeah, basically 4 people are behind this game on our team, which is not good. But Cassiopeia is ahead, so that means that Cassiopeia is going to be probably be the lane that we were going to want to play towards, at least at the moment. No, there's no lane that's really out of the game right now. It's not like Yasuo or bot lane can't come back. But it does mean that top lane is the only one that's going to have prio right now. And for Warwick, one of the issues with Warwick when falling behind is he's really reliant on his blood trail. So Warwick just doesn't have the damage or the playmaking ability to really force ganks very well. So if your teams are behind, you're going to have to focus more on farming. And that's basically what happens this game. As you can see right here, I go for a counter jungle because I see Rengar's bot side. Sylas hits level 6, and I must have walked past a ward or something because this man obviously spotted me. But he has no ignite or anything, so I can actually fight him back, even though he's level 6. By the way, Sylas ultimate on Warwick is terrible. Sylas players never recognize that. They always think it's going to be a great ultimate, but it's terrible. So I'm never really that worried when a Sylas takes my ultimate and tries to kill me, unless he has teammates nearby, because then he can actually make use of the CC. So we just go back to our jungle here. Farm it out, so we decided to go for this Rift Herald because our bot lane actually rotated mid. As you can see, we have Lucian Zilean, which means we have a numbers advantage. Sylas is trying to mess with me here. This actually has me worried because my bot lane is not rotating to help, but luckily no enemies actually came to contest me. And I decided to just come mid to try to drop this Herald, get some free plates. I noticed that Samira Rel is coming, but I think, we could probably win this 3v3. I'm pretty strong. But then we noticed that Rengar is obviously right here, which is just not good. That's in fact very, very bad. And honestly, we might have just lost that in general. I'm actually surprised at how strong they were. So this was just a terrible call by me. I actually kind of really put us behind by making this call, and it was not a good play. So misread on my part that put us behind, and this is probably the real reason why we fell behind, because we were just actually in a decent spot. And right here is essentially going to be kind of the story of the game. Rengar's trying to counter jungle, try to utilize his bot lane prio, and aiming for my Gromp. For some reason, he backed off, I guess because Yasuo is rotating, but I feel like they definitely could have actually utilized this prio pretty well right here, considering I have no ultimate. But we'll go ahead and just take this Gromp. I will say, because of like when Warwick falls behind versus some comps, it's really bad. But in this case, I actually Warwick's pretty strong into most of their champions. Rengar, Sylas, Samira. These are all champions that Warwick kind of is able to cock block a little bit. So even though we're behind, it's definitely, not too bad of a scenario for me. At the end of the day, like I said, when we're behind on Warwick and we don't have blood trails to work with, we just farm it out. That's basically what you have to do in Warwick. You play around your ultimates, ultimates for kills, and you play around blood trails for kills, and you just kind of try to farm in between. And that's what we're trying to do here. I decided to try to go for this play here on Silas, just because, again, trying to play towards my top laner who's ahead. I think I'm playing a little bit too aggro here, honestly, but luckily Silas just flashes in, thinks he can make a play. Like I said, for some reason, Silas players, they think Warwick Ultimate is like the best ability in the game, and then they just flash in and die every single time. So that we'll take it, you know. I saw that Rengar went into my jungle to try to counter jungle, and I know that we have lane prio. This was a case of essentially what happened here is Rengar. I think he wanted to invade. And then his top laner died, and instead of just calling off his and adapting to the fact that his top laner died, he just kind of continued with his initial idea, and that's obviously not what you want to do in the jungle. You have to be able to adapt to the situation, what your teammates are doing. I noticed that they're definitely going to want to do a tower dive on my Lucian here because they saw that Zilean was not in lane, so I decided to just react to this situation by running bot lane, hiding around the corner, and waiting for them to go for the dive. Obviously works out. So we actually burned Samira's flash as well, which is nice. Sadly, I can't save the Lucian. Maybe I could have if I ulted, but I wanted to make sure that I got both kills. I probably could have played that better, honestly, but it all ends up kind of working out anyways. So we'll take it. We go back to just farming away once again. And then I get invaded here. This is super random, by the way. Like what is going on here? This is actually annoyed the hell out of me right here because I'm getting like 4-man invaded at my Gromp for absolutely 0. But we have the Zilean here, and keep in mind I don't have jak'sho here or any defensive items. I just have Ravenous Hydra, and I just can't die. And this is why I actually am putting a lot of points in my E nowadays early on because like, damn. Right there, it was actually a huge mistake though by me. I tried to push the play forward and ended up dying as a result, and we actually could have gotten more out of this play if I was just patient. This is a huge deal in solo queue, and it's a huge problem that I have is that when we have a winning fight, I try to make it I try to just push the fight forward and get the most out of it that I can rather than just taking the free win. And you can't do that in solo queue. You just gotta just take whatever you can get. You gotta play smart. You can't greed, because if you're trying to make every fight the game-winning fight, you're just gonna end up losing a lot of fights that you should be winning. And those fights absolutely add up right here. Right here, I was hoping that I could actually kind of come in here and save this Yasuo, because again, Warwick does pretty good into Samira, but Yasuo just dies, which means I died. So we just threw our entire lead, and Cassiopeia gets caught out here. Lucian again tries to save. This is solo queue syndrome. Everyone's trying to help each other. There's no, like, we're outnumbered in every single fight here, and trying to make things happen when we just need to just let like 1 or 2 people die. Like 1 or 2 deaths turns into like 6 deaths, which is pretty terrible. But now I actually do notice, so I realized that. Notice I got teammates around now. I got teammates that we can work with, so I can bait this fight. And that's what happens. Again, enemy team, they're trying to push their lead. They're trying to win the game as hard as they can. They think they have the lead, but they're all focused on me. And I gotta, like, my role in this game is to be the front line. We have no tanks on my team other than me. So my goal, which by the way, as you can see, I didn't even buy boots. I just finished my jak'sho. And that actually kind of works out this game because I still want to get my boots, and that's why I get them right now. But obviously just getting the raw stats early on is fine because they're diving into me. I'm not chasing anyone. I'm just going to be the big ball of stats that's hitting their front line. So going for just the raw defensive power obviously was honestly a pretty big deal in that bottom fight. We come back from base. We managed to catch another fight here. And at this point, it's very safe to say that we have the lead in the game now. And trying to play a little bit of clean up here. But the difference between the fights now and the fights from just a couple minutes ago in this video were that right here, actually my ultimate was very good on the Rengar. Managed to make sure that you couldn't jump on the Zilean. But the difference is that our team is playing together. That's really crucial in solo queue. Like, that's actually necessary in solo queue, because if you're not playing with your team and you're always playing outnumbered, you're always taking like then you're always going to be taking fights that you should be losing, which is just low odds. Right here, though, for some reason, Cassiopeia is playing really over-aggressive, gets caught out. Somehow, no one dies. I'm actually super surprised that no one died here. I tried to, like, do something here to this. I tried to, like, bait this rail into going on me and hoping maybe our team could punish, but we just want to recall reset, which is actually fine. Because considering our state in the game, we should just be playing, you know, safe and not doing anything stupid. But Rengar decided to just ult me here in my jungle. But once again, I got backup from my team. Of course, I don't have Cassiopeia here, which actually makes it somewhat risky, honestly. But we saw that they had some people mid, so we just continue on with the fight. We're going in. We got our jak'sho, fully stacked Ravenous, or almost a fully stacked Ravenous, and like, let's look at how fed I am. Right here, all I'm thinking about in this situation is cancel the Samira ultimate with my E. We managed to do that. They have no pop-up potential after Rengar and you know, Silas were dead. As long as I managed to stop the Samira ultimate, then they got nothing going for them. And we managed to take the Baron. We're going into the Spear of Trojan this game, by the way, because of the fact that there's a couple reasons. First of all, they have a lot of mobility. So being able to spam my Q to follow mobility is nice. Also for the heals. But also they're very bursty. So being able to spam my E more is actually going to do a lot more for me than just having just raw, like, ping stats. Plus it obviously just gives me damage. So it just gives me absolutely everything I want. CDR damage and health is king against the enemy team comp here because of how bursty they are. We decided to just, you know, push out mid because we're winning this game. We just got Baron, and they have no real way of sieging in this scenario. So we managed to pull off the win at the end of the day. Like I said, we fought behind early. We had a very slow start. And we came back a little bit, but then we threw again. I actually threw the fight really hard, so we put ourselves in a bad situation. But we came back because we decided, like, I started playing with my team and reacted to the enemy aggression. I punished the enemy aggression and over-aggression, and knew my role in fights, which is just to be a frontliner that was just baiting out spells. So let me know what you guys think of this video in the editing style. Peace out. Have a good one. Merry Christmas and happy holidays for all.